Hello and welcome to today's live session. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm excited today to talk to you about mastering time management and aligning your priorities to create a balanced and fulfilling personal lifestyle. Time management is not just about getting more done. It's about making sure that you're spending your time on the things that really matter most to you and really doing that effectively. My focus today is to provide you with practical tips that will help you to really align your time well with your personal commitments and make the most of it. We often juggle just so many responsibilities, right? And without effective time management, it's really easy for us to feel overwhelmed and stressed. Hi, I'm Leslie Gadet. I'm a self-care strategist for female entrepreneurs. I specialize in systems that turn daily stress and constant overwhelm into clarity and calm, with the ultimate goal, which is to ensure that you're present for life's important moments, both in your business and beyond. Through my own self-development journey, I've truly learned that managing my personal and professional life successfully has required me to really lean into continuous growth and learning about myself. And in that process, I've learned about how my energy works, my peak energy times, and by embracing the mindset of really like being intent or intentional around how I manage my time, I've learned a valuable lesson in that how I manage my time is extremely important because it is without a doubt our most valuable commodity. Now, the purpose behind today is really to equip you with the knowledge and the tools to help you manage your time more effectively. And by understanding things like your energy, like what is your energy like? Do you even know? Are you a morning person? Are you an evening person? Knowing your peak energy times, having that insight into how you're wired right from the start is going to help you to prevent you from feeling overwhelmed, feeling like you have no time, because I know a lot of the time we say, I have no time. Stress all of the time about how little time you have for the things that matter to you most, and ensuring that you maintain a high quality of life by prioritizing what truly matters most. So, today we're going to explore three key points: the importance of time management in your personal life, knowing your calendar and what goes on it, and practical time management strategies, all to help you uh, all to help you really to align your priorities, find that balance or harmony of life so that you make that the most of your time, whether it's work, family, or personal self-care. I want to be able to help you create structure around your time that supports your well-being and enhances your productivity. So, with that being said, let's get started. So, let's talk about key point number one, which is the importance of time management in your personal life. Managing your time effectively is central for personal well being and maintaining a healthy lifestyle, because how we use our time really affects every other aspect of our lives, from the time we spend with our loved ones to the time we spend working on our businesses to the time we spend for our self care. It really all comes down to the quality of that time spent. And when we manage our time well, we create that space for what truly matters to us, ensuring that we're not just surviving our days, but we actually are thriving. So, some benefits to really effectively manage your time are around is really the first one, which I think a lot of people truly can relate to as being something that happens probably on a daily basis, and that's stress, right? So it helps you to reduce stress, because when you learn to manage your time effectively, it helps reduce the stress that comes from feeling overwhelmed, which knowing comes from what to say yes to and what to say no or not right now. It's knowing what you need to do and having a plan to get it done, which will reduce your feeling of overwhelm and promote a sense of calm. The second one is to increase productivity. When you prioritize your tasks and focus on what's really important, truly important to where you're at, you focusing on the now and not the future. I know a lot of us get stuck on the bigger picture. It's so far out, and we get, that shiny object syndrome where things show up when, I mean, they might be part of the process, but they show up out of nowhere, and we think we're supposed to do them all now, all together, and they don't really align with each other at the time, but we're afraid it will miss out on it. But instead, you allow yourself to just be in the focus on the now, and keeping your goals close to the vest, close to your timeline that you have for them. It's going to allow you to be more intentional around your time, being clear what goes on your calendar with that with clear and decisive goal setting so that you can accomplish more in less time. It leaves you more time for you to do other things that you love to do. So the third one, why it's important, is that it allows for more time for self-care and family. When you have good time management, you're being intentional around your time. It ensures you have dedicated moments for self-care and quality time with family so that you can nurture those relationships, deepen those bonds, building and strengthening them, and taking care of you in the process because you're intentional about it. It's a non-negotiable. The next is improved work-life harmony. When you're intentional about effectively managing your time, it's going to lead to more fulfilling lifestyle because it's going to help you, of course, to have that clarity and that focus, but it'll help to prevent burnout, which a lot of us, I know I've faced multiple times. Many of the women I've spoken to, and even some of the men I've spoken to, have actually experienced burnout on more than one occasion. And so really important to pay attention, so that it allows you, when you effectively manage your time, it allows you to stop those burnout phases and really maintain that long-term productivity, long-term wellness and satisfaction in all areas of your life. So here's some examples of how to do this, right? How to really understand like the why behind the importance of it being so important for you to pay attention to time management. First, way to do that is really start with a plan. I don't know if you know the quote by Benjamin Franklin, but it basically is, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. I truly believe that it's important to have some structure. Otherwise, you're left throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping something or anything will stick and work out. Like you're in that hope frame of mind, like hoping it's going to work out, hoping it's going to stick, hoping it's the right idea, hoping it's the right strategy. But when you don't really have a plan behind it, you don't have that structure behind it, it really is like throwing spaghetti at the wall. An example of how you could implement planning is really maybe every Sunday, whether it's afternoon or evening, you sit down and you plan your week. Then you list the tasks that you need to accomplish and allocate specific days and times for each tasks, making sure that they're achievable and that you're not overwhelming your calendar with too many large things in the same day that take longer than the time that you've allocated. I mean, if you've got huge blocks of time or a chunk of time and you've got 3 or 4 things in that say a 2-hour time frame, but it's just not achievable because some of those things are going to take a little bit longer. It's really becoming intentional around, okay, where does that belong? How can I break that down even smaller? The benefit of that is that when you have that daily decision making stress, uh, um, when you have this daily decision making process in place, it can reduce your stress and help you hit the ground running every day with more confidence. So it's like really having that intention around what you're doing so that like one of the things what I love is Brendan Burchard. He talks about his Friday finishers where you have like that week goal and you have then set things every day to reach that Friday goal, that goal on Friday. And so he calls it that Friday finisher, in which I love that concept because it then makes you become more intentional around, okay, like this is what I hope to achieve by Friday. What does that look like? The second thing is breaking down your tasks into more manageable bite-sized pieces is really a great way to make you feel less overwhelmed. And having that weekly goal where your tasks all line up to meet that goal is really important. You don't want to be like trying to figure out having multiple things that don't really align with the overall goal, because then it doesn't make sense to you and you're going to feel like you're not really accomplishing anything. So if you have a big project, for example, you might want to break it down into like smaller tasks. For instance, instead of putting on one day where you put write report, you could have like create outline one day and research key points another day, and then draft introduction another day. This is just, I mean, obviously you can probably fit more in, but that's just an idea. And what this does, again, it makes your larger tasks feel less overwhelming, allowing you to see progress. And it keeps you motivated doing what needs to be done so that you keep moving forward. And I found this really extremely beneficial for myself, adopting this principle, because then I'm not trying to fit everything in every single day. It just doesn't, it's not doable. And it doesn't mean that it's always going to be the thing that I'm going to keep doing, because I've found over time things change. You have different tasks, you have different goals, and things, your tactics might change, and so that's okay. But having structure around it is going to help you to manage it and your time better. So let's move on to key point number 2, which is knowing what goes on your calendar for peace of mind. This is so important. Um, Number one, having clarity of vision is, I feel like, probably the number one thing why people have, uh, that they feel like they're just spinning their wheels around that hamster wheel, that um, perpetual hamster wheel. It's going round and round. You can't get off, and it's like you don't even know what you're doing. You're spinning your wheels. I feel like a lot of that comes from not having clarity of like the vision, like your goal. Like, what is it that you want to do? Like, what is the bigger vision goal? And then breaking it down. I even like to, I've adopted the 12-week year. I love the 12-week year. I finished just one recently, and I'm on another 12-week year that I'll be starting. And what I love about that idea is it keeps the goals, the bigger goal, close, but then you have your weekly goals and you're really intentional around what you're doing. But having that clarity around, like, what does that look like? What is like an overall objective? And I like keeping it close, because if it's too far out, you have that mindset, oh, I didn't meet it, so but I still have time. Whereas like it becomes less about, when you only have 12 weeks, your days, you become more intentional, and it becomes more important that you meet your daily goals. And so then you become more intentional about how you set yourself up. So that's why I love the 12-week year, because then it allows you to meet those goals. You become more intentional, more focused. So that's, I mean, I don't know if you've ever read the 12-week year, but it's an incredible book. And I really feel like it's really changed a lot for me. So when you manage your time effectively, again, it's really important to have clarity, your why, for why you're doing what you're doing. It'll allow you to, again, know how, and really understand the importance of what you say yes to, what goes on your calendar, and really help you to see when you put things on your calendar that don't align with your overall goal, your overall vision. And and then that leads to overwhelm and stress, right? But instead, clarity will help you to prioritize things that align with your goals and your values, and the vision that you have. And if you adopt the 12-week year principle, then you have that plan, and it'll help you to align more effectively to, or efficiently, with your long-term 12-week goal. You become more intentional. The second thing about that is that to have white space or free time on your calendar. I really feel like this is a game changer for the nervous system, because when you schedule in your to-dos, and you have that white space, it really makes you feel like you're not overwhelming your calendar. And so when you do this, make sure that you schedule in that free space, and you can use that for self-care, relaxing, spontaneous activities, meetings if you want to, or something, an impromptu coffee chat. But it's not that you have to fill it, but it's good to have these because I feel that it's really, and has helped me and the people that I've worked with to feel less stressed by their calendar. And the benefits when you do this, is better focus, because when your calendar reflects your true priorities that are aligned with your values, you can focus on what really matters, which leads to greater satisfaction when you achieve your goals. It promotes enhanced flexibility, because to handle those unexpected life events without feeling overwhelmed. Because we all know that life happens, right? When we least expect it, something happens. And one of the reasons when that happens is why I truly believe that white space should be non-negotiable, and so that you have that space available for like when those unexpected things happen, then you can say, oh, I've got some additional available time. Can it work here? Do I mind filling in that? Or the other thing too is I want you to also understand that just because you have that white space or that free space, it doesn't mean that you have to fill it with anything at all. You're not obligated to always be in the doing. The free time or the white space, it really helps you to lean into just being and enjoying your life. I think a lot of us are so in the doing of things that we forget to be. We forget to allow ourselves to enjoy life, to just sit back and enjoy. So then the third thing to that is improved self-care. It leads to improved self-care because when you have scheduled free time, that's white space on your calendar, it is ensuring one of the things that I think it should be another non-negotiable on in your day, which is taking breaks, because breaks are meant to actually help your brain recharge, your body to, even to get up and change the attitude of sitting, getting up and moving around, going for a walk, getting outside. Whatever that looks like, hydrating, taking that break to go and hydrate, to go and eat something nutritious so that when you come back, you're fueled, ready to go, focused, ready to go and get back into the doing of things. Again, even sitting outside, I know someone who has a beautiful garden. She's posted many times on Instagram and on Facebook. She's got this gorgeous garden. She just lives a little bit north of me, northeast of me here in Florida. And she goes out and she'll have her tea and she'll watch and she'll just listen to the sounds around her. Even like listening to the birds and the squirrels, watching them uh, fly around, or chirping and having interactions with each other. It's quite, I think, fascinating when you listen to birds, because they have all these different sounds that they make and they're talking to each other. But it can be so calming and relaxing when you just take time to just focus on that. So some examples of how you can incorporate that white space on your calendar is, well, first of all, I will always say this first because I think again, I've said it on more than one occasion. I said it earlier, is that blocking out time each day for self-care should be a non-negotiable. Whether that's reading, spending time with your loved ones, whether it's meditating, journaling, going for a walk, baking, whatever that is, it should go on your calendar first, period. Because I truly believe that that self-care should be first, because again, you need to take care of you. There's only one of you. And so having those moments on there where you're intentionally saying, I matter, I'm going to do this for me. It's going to make me feel good about myself so that I feel good and I'm continuously filling up my gratitude jar, filling up my cup, taking care of myself. Um, the benefits from self-care, I can't even explain it, but to say I've seen it firsthand, not only with myself, but with my clients. And again, like as I said with myself, when I put it on my calendar first, I believe I set myself up for success. And that helps me to prevent me from burning out and keeps me feeling balanced. And, have more harmony in my life. I feel more energized. I truly believe that self-care is a lifeblood to our success in life and business. And as I said, there's only one of you. And when you take care of yourself well, it's really going to make a difference in how you show up in your day, in your relationships, in everything in life. Second, you want to identify your priorities. This goes hand in hand with effectively managing your time. It's where you'll list your top 5 priorities for the week. So when you're when you're on your Sunday afternoon or evening planning session for the week, and you're writing out those things, what is that overall objective for your week, and having the top 5 priorities, for example, for each day, one for each day, perhaps, to reach that Friday finisher, and be intentional about it. This is going to ensure that your calendar reflects your priorities when you schedule time for them, and making sure to ask yourself, do they align with your values and your goals? Because if they don't, what's the point of putting them on your calendar? Because you don't want to be in the middle of just being busy rather than being productive. Really be intentional intentional around what you put on your calendar because it's so beneficial for your overall goals, so you meet them, but also so that you don't feel like you're spinning your wheels. When you're intentional about what you goes on your calendar, ensuring that your important tasks and your activities align with where you're at in your journey right now, and they don't get overshadowed by less important ones. And then when you put those pockets of white space on your calendar, those pockets of free time, most importantly, they remind you to take those breaks, ensuring that you recharge, that you're not constantly feeding your brain, not allowing it to digest what you fed it, like just like your body, right? When you eat a meal, you don't just keep eating the entire day. You allow your body to digest what you fed it after that meal. And then when you're hungry again, you will feed it. Well, it's just like your brain. You've got to give it a break. You don't want to get that mental fatigue. It's really important. And it's important for your overall well-being, right? When you're intentional about what you put on your calendar. All right, let's get to key point number 3, which is practical time management. One of the most effective ways to manage your time is prioritizing your tasks, right? I've talked about that, and focusing on what's important and allocating your energy accordingly. And the benefits of this, and I just talked about it, is enhanced efficiency. It helps you to tackle high impact tasks first, which leads to greater efficiency and accomplishment. It reduces overwhelm because when you know what to focus on, when you have again having that clarity of vision, and then you have that weekly goal, and then you have really structured your days accordingly, that you will get out of it the being productive, but in a way where it's not overwhelming and overstretching and taking over your energy. But when you know what to focus on, you can avoid feeling overwhelmed by a long to-do list because you've allowed yourself to really structure out your week really well. Here's some suggestions that I have for you. You could find a method, for example, that helps you to understand your time better. For example, the Eisenhower matrix, which is where you divide your tasks into 4 quadrants or categories. So you've got urgent and important in one, important but not urgent in another, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. And you focus on the urgent and important tasks. Of course, you could say, like, how I used to work, for example, when I was working full time as a legal assistant many years ago. I worked for multiple partners, and we had a system. We had red folder was urgent for the work that needed to get done right this second. Yellow was right afterwards, which was second, and blue was as long as it was done this week. And so we had this system, and it worked well. And I really loved that because there was less overwhelm. I didn't feel like overwhelmed with, like, okay, what do I do first? I had priorities because we came up with a system to help prioritize the workflow. And so that's what I'm saying here, is finding a system to help you prioritize your workflow. The benefit of this is that it helps you to prioritize effectively, avoid wasting time on less critical things. And of course, we know that time's a valuable commodity, one that I believe is our most valuable commodity. You could create a daily top 3. So for example, at the start of each day, look at what you've planned for the week, and then identify your top 3 tasks that need to be completed for that day. Like, you've already scheduled out your week, and you look at what you've got for that day, and what are your top 3, like creating that urgency around those things, complete them first, and then move on to whatever is left over. And being okay that if you don't get everything done, don't beat yourself up, because I think we get in our heads that everything has to get done. Just having the strategy alone will provide you actual, number one, feedback for yourself of whether or not how you've structured that day, the tasks that you've put there, how you've blocked them together or spread them out a little bit. If the task is too big to do in one day, it needs to be broken down further. That's great feedback because it allows you to understand yourself more. Again, be open when this happens, because sometimes we're not always aware until we're in the middle of it, that we need more time to do something. And when that happens, again, extend yourself some grace and don't beat yourself up. Creating a daily schedule is really great too, because having realistic and flexible daily schedule helps keep you on track without feeling overwhelmed, without the negative self-talk chiming in. So when you have that daily schedule, again, being open to, again, what I just said earlier, is if you don't get everything done, be okay that maybe that's something that can be tabled for another day and see where it works within your week. The benefits of this are that a well planned schedule helps you to make the most of your time, which can increase your productivity. And when you know what you need to do and when to do it reduces stress and mental clutter. So you really want to also plan ahead for this too, right? That's why I was saying, in having those Sunday, if that Sunday is your day, or Saturday is your Saturday morning, or Saturday afternoon, or Sunday morning, or Sunday afternoon, whatever day that works for you best. Some people plan on Fridays. But in addition to your weekly time spent planning your week and your morning time spent reviewing what's ahead for the day, spend 10 minutes at the end of each day reviewing your day and celebrating your wins, and then tweaking where necessary. Because again, remember, feedback is going to be found in whether or not you're able to meet goals. I've had many times where it's like, oh, no, that did not work. I need to tweak it. This is just too big of a task. I need to break it down a little bit more. Again, the benefit is that it helps you to focus on what you did during the day, anchoring in, celebrating, anchoring in your successes. Again, no matter how small they are, they can be even the smallest thing, allowing you to see that you're making progress, which will allow you to go to sleep feeling confident that you're on the right track, which again will then reduce that morning stress, because you'll wake up refreshed and ready to tackle the next day because you know that you're on the right track. And I also want to include this, which I something that I also encourage to anyone I work with, and something I do for myself, and that is adding in buffer time for unexpected life moments, changes, or time goals that need to be moved out. Sometimes we have those deadlines that just like fast approaching, and we can't. It's like the timeline just doesn't work. And so when you put in that time intentionally, you're less likely to feel that overwhelm, and less likely to feel rushed, especially if the deadline's fast approaching and you need that time. But instead, if you have those hard deadlines and you weren't intentional about how you use your time, you didn't have really clarity of vision, you didn't really plan it out effectively, and now you found yourself having to work harder and longer because you've already scheduled something to happen, you've committed to something, and now you're like rushing to get it finished. And that's stressful and overwhelming as well. Again, buffer time helps prevent your schedule from becoming too rigid and also too stressful. It making you feel like you're a slave to your time, because I know that's not what we want to be. Time is a valuable commodity for sure, but we don't need to be a slave to our time, working all the time, so that we're not enjoying our life. Setting boundaries is important. So establishing boundaries about what you're going to say yes to outside of what you put on there for your goals is really critical, because if you say yes to too many things and suddenly you find your calendar overwhelming, full with things that you can't possibly attend or take part in, you might find yourself beating yourself up, saying things like, what was I thinking? I'm so stupid for doing that. I should have known better. Or you might feel embarrassed when you have to reach out to someone to tell them that you have to say no now because you just don't have the time, or find yourself with a full calendar that leaves little or no room for yourself or your self-care or spending time with your loved ones. And again, that just leads to that overwhelm and can even put you on a burnout phase. It's really important that you learn to protect your time and prevent overcommitting yourself, so that you're not, um, again, you're not like that. You don't get to that place of feeling like you're burning out, going through a phase, whether it's emotional or professional burnout. And the benefits really about protecting your personal time is it'll ensure that you have that time for yourself and your loved ones, time for self-care, and it'll reduce overwhelm, preventing you from taking on too much because you'll have clear boundaries, thereby reducing, again, the risk of getting into a burnout phase. Also, learning to say no or not right now is so important because it can be really hard to meet all of your obligations if you literally plan out every second of your day with to-dos that don't promote wellness, that aren't in alignment with your why and your values, and that just have you doing busy work and you leaving you feeling at the end of the day like, what did I do? How did this even push the needle forward a little bit? So learn to politely decline additional responsibilities that don't align with your priorities. If you're that yes person who has trouble saying no, that this is critical for you to learn how to say no or not right now, and start small. So even if it's like if it's no and you know it's a hard no, just say, look, I really wish I could, but I've got a few things on the go and I'm just not going to be able to make it, and leave it at that. You don't have to give too big of an explanation. If it's not right now, it's something that you want to do, ask if there's another time and see if there's flexibility around the timing. Again, it's really up to you how you want to do that, but learning this, how to do this, is going to help keep your schedule manageable and focused on what really matters to you. And make sure that you communicate your needs clearly, because one of the things I think is so important is people think sometimes, oh, they should know me, they know what I'm doing, or they know what I'm working on, so they should know better. That's not the case. People are not in your head. They're not mind readers. So it's important that you let the people in your life know your schedule, inform work colleagues, your family, whoever that is in your vicinity, wherever you're working, about whether you need more time to do something, and you'll get back to them. Let them know when you're available and stick to those hours. Stick to it. Hold yourself accountable to yourself. It prevents, when you're clearly communicating your needs, it will help prevent misunderstanding and ensure respect for your time, not only from them, but from yourself, especially. Time blocking is another effective method to allocate specific time slots for different activities. I know some people time block some activities together, which helps to ensure you stay focused and productivity. Again, this comes from that clarity of vision and knowing your energy and peak energy times as well. It helps you focus on one task at a time, reducing distractions when you have that time block, and it knows that you have a specific set of tasks in that time block. And also, when you're allocating those times for certain tasks, it ensures that you have that dedicated time to complete them, keeping in mind that the time you've blocked out will be sufficient to complete the task at hand. And again, extend yourself grace if you have to break it down further. So if you could block similar tasks together, for example, emails and calls into one time block, right? So you're going through your emails, you're checking maybe your voicemail messages, or you're checking your emails and answering some emails, and then after that you're going to return some calls, or whatever that looks like for you. Even content creation and scheduling posts could be one together that you could use. This increases efficiency by minimizing, I should say, context switching, which is rapidly shifting attention between different tasks, projects, or thought processes, which to me feels like you're trying to multitask. I really don't believe in multitasking for most things, because I believe it dilutes your focus and quality and can have you having to go back and fix things, mistakes, which again takes up more of your time. So make sure that you include regular breaks throughout your day, also to recharge. That's really important, so you stay energized and prevent yourself from getting burnt out. I know I went a little bit over, so I'm just going to recap a little bit before I end. So the benefits of effectively managing your time. Again, key point one: self-awareness and knowing the importance of time management in your personal life, because it helps reduce stress. It leads to increased productivity and greater efficiency, ensures dedicated moments for self-care and quality time with loved ones, and it leads to a more fulfilling lifestyle, preventing burnout and maintaining long-term satisfaction. Key point number two: knowing what goes on your calendar for your peace of mind promotes better focus. While white space also allows for that flexibility, so you can handle unexpected events without stress, or have that time available for self-care, or just doing nothing at all. And then, and of course, it recharges you, promoting that your overall well-being. Key point three was putting in practical time management strategies to focus on what's important will increase your overall efficiency, help to avoid feeling overwhelmed. It will maximize your time and your productivity, having that schedule, a well-planned schedule, and knowing your tasks and when to do them will reduce mental clutter and stress. So today I want to just leave you with some questions to help you reflect on your time management practices. So I'll make sure that I put them in the notes in the comments after the video. And these are the questions. So how do you currently manage your time in your personal life? Do you prioritize your personal life, your family, your friends, your loved ones? Are they a priority? Does work take precedence? What are the biggest time management challenges or time sucks that you face? Which strategies that I discussed today can you start implementing? Do you feel overwhelmed by your daily tasks? And if you do, why? And where can you make some adjustments? Do you know your energy and your peak energy times? That's really important. Are you a sprinter versus a marathoner in terms of energy management? I talked about this on a video a few weeks ago. Sprinters are people who can work intense short bursts. They need frequent breaks to recharge their energy. I'm a sprinter. Marathoners, on the other hand, can sustain their focus for longer periods before needing a break. And they might need less, maybe shorter breaks than someone like myself, who's a sprinter, who needs, I understand my energy, I need longer breaks. So understanding whether you're a sprinter or a marathoner can significantly optimize your productivity and well-being, helping you to really determine where your peak energy times are and aligning your day's activities around those times. What activities or tasks could you prioritize to align better with your personal values and goals? How can you incorporate more white space or free time into your schedule and also be okay that you don't have to fill it with anything just because you have the free time? And finally, what steps can you take to ensure you have dedicated time for your self-care each day? Can you make it a non-negotiable that goes on your calendar first? Effective time management is, I believe, elemental to achieving a well-rounded and fulfilling life with, harmonized life. With that being said, before we go, I want to remind you that I am offering my holistic balance and success audit, which will give you a comprehensive look at your current self practices and provide actionable insights tailored specifically for you. You'll get I'll be looking at your strengths, gaps, and areas for improvements. You'll get insights into how you can manage your time more effectively so that you gain more control over your schedule, reduce stress, create harmony between your personal and professional responsibilities, and we'll uncover and address any hidden challenges that may be hindering your well-being, productivity, and your overall growth. Along with when that is all said and done, you'll receive a detailed video and written report with insights and actionable steps to help you feel clear, refocused, re-energized, and inspired to take your life to the next level. So if you are interested in learning more, just send me a message letting me know that you're interested and we'll have a chat. Thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day and staying on for this a little bit longer video than I normally do. Remember, managing your time well isn't just about being productive. It's about, really creating that time, that space for what really matters to you, being truly aligned with your why for what you do, being in alignment with your values, and creating that lifestyle that promotes quality of life. Thanks again for watching. Take care of you the best that you can. Use your time and make the most of every moment, and I'll see you next time.